From the time I was little, I always had dinner at home with my family. My family at that time was my grandmother, my mother, and my brother. And I remember my grandmother cooking dinner every night and setting the table nicely with tablecloth in those days. And it was like the Father Knows Best dinner, except there was no dad at the table. So it was interesting for me to carry that on while my kids were growing up and going to school. It was very important for us to have dinner together and sit down at that time of the day and at least get together and talk about what went on during the day. It wasn't, of course, always possible because they had activities after school, of course, and they also had homework and projects to do. But we did make an effort about 4 or 5 nights a week to sit down to dinner. And on the days that I worked, I tried to throw a crock-pot dinner together so there was something to enjoy at the end of the day. So just today I was reading an article at familydinnerproject.org, and I wasn't surprised at all to come across some of the things that they found in some research that was done about family dinners. They found that children who routinely get together for dinner do better in school. They have higher levels of self-esteem, a greater sense of resilience, lower risk of depression, lower risk of eating disorders, and a lower risk of obesity. And some of the ways, I guess, that it happens is because we can control some of the foods, the obesity issues, some of the foods that our kids are eating at the end of the day, and maybe satiate that appetite for eating and snacking after dinner. The other things, lower risk of depression and having more resilience and doing better in school, seems to me that just getting the family together and talking and knowing that there's a time that we're all together as a family kind of boosts their inner sense of self. I'm wondering, what do you think? What is your dinner time like, and what do you think of these findings that the familydinnerproject.org has put on their website? I'd love to hear from you, and I hope that you have some really interesting answers. Of course, I think that it's not always possible to get together more than 2 or 3 times a week sometimes for dinner, or maybe even only once. But it does help the kids, I think, to get together and help set the table and help participate in the fixing of the dinner, maybe, if that's possible, just to get a feeling of everyone being together and helping out and then enjoying the meal together. So, sorry for the interruption there. Something came across my screen. I hope to hear from you, and have a great evening and a great dinner.